What's up, addicts? In this video, we're going to be breaking down the Week 3 game between the New York Guardians and the St. Louis BattleHawks, going through all the fantasy stats in this one. But hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Alright guys, so breaking this game down, final score here, St. Louis 29, New York 9. This game definitely is further dividing a hole between what the Guardians could be and what they are. St. Louis rocked this one. The fan attendance was amazing. Everyone was super pumped to have football return to St. Louis, and it was really great atmosphere for the BattleHawks. But man, the Guardians just really shot themselves in the foot so many different times between just dumb personal foul penalties, throwing the ball away in the end zone, interceptions, not being able to convert. Like, they could have had so many more points and could have had a much more competitive game, but they just kept, basically destroying themselves. And it's going to be really interesting to see if this team can actually pick up the pieces of what they've left in the past couple weeks of just self-implosion and see if they can actually turn things around. But part of that is going to begin with this quarterback controversy. So we had Matt McGloin start the game. He left briefly because of an injury, came back in towards the end of the first half, threw an interception, and then they took him out and didn't put him back in. Marquise Williams played for most of the third quarter. He wasn't doing well, so they took him out, and then they brought in their third quarterback, Luis Perez, who actually did pretty well. So looking at their stats, Matt McGloin, 8 of 11, 84 yards, no touchdowns, 1 INT. Marquise Williams, 7 of 15, only 47% completion percentage, but 94 yards, no touchdowns. He also had 2 carries for 12 yards. Pretty elusive in the pocket, but very inerrant and inaccurate on a lot of his throws. And then Luis Perez, only 5 attempts, but 4 completions, 39 yards, and had the 1 touchdown on the day. Looked sharp. I mean, they might end up going with Luis Perez. If he can perform well enough in practice, he might end up being their saving grace right now. Now, the run game actually did get going in this game. Tim Cook had 9 carries for 50 yards. Darius Victor, 10 carries for 50 yards. Over 100 yards on the ground, which is a pretty decent performance for them considering where they have been. So that's a good sign that they're actually going to be able to have a semblance of a run game. Hopefully that will calm things down and let whoever ends up being their quarterback finally start getting a rhythm going. Darius Victor also 2 catches on the day, 11 yards. And then Justin Stockton, although he didn't get any carries, 5 targets, 3 catches for 41 yards. Definitely something to monitor. On the receiver side, Austin Duke with the most receptions on the day, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 43 yards, and that 1 touchdown from Luis Perez. We also saw Teo Redding get 5 targets, 3 receptions for 24 yards. And Mikael McKay, only 2 targets, 1 reception for 17 yards. Both were near the end zone, but just I don't understand their lack of wanting to use Mikael McKay right now. I mean, part of it is just that they don't have a quarterback that can throw accurately, but I mean, he's definitely their best player. You can see it and when he's on the field, but I don't know. They just haven't been deploying him nearly the way that we thought. Also, Colby Peterson there, 5 targets, 3 receptions for 41 yards. Just a pretty abysmal day from anyone outside of Austin Duke, who had a okay day. And then from a tight end perspective, Jake Powell, 3 targets, 2 receptions for 35 yards. You'll take that from a tight end in this league. And then EJ Bibbs, only 1 reception for 5 yards. So, kind of gross. Jumping over to St. Louis, but before we get into that, if you guys want to see an entire replay of this game in a condensed fashion, cut out all of the commercial breaks, everything in between, gets the game under 30 minutes, click the link in the description or check out the box above me. We put that together for you guys so you can actually see this game if you want to put some context to these stats. But looking at the BattleHawks, Jordan Teamo in this one didn't really have to do anything. He was 12 for 18, 119 yards, very accurate on the day, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Also had 3 carries for 14 yards, so pretty disappointing from a fantasy perspective, but between the way that they were running the ball and the way they were playing defensively and on special teams, they didn't need Jordan Teamo to really do much of anything. Matt Jones led the day, 15 carries for 95 yards, including a 47-yard long, had 1 touchdown on the ground. It was a goal line carry, very happy to see that, especially because Christian Michael actually got a lot more work in this game, 13 carries for 44 yards and 1 touchdown as well. He looked a lot better in this one, so that might start to eat into Matt Jones' carries as the season goes on, but overall Matt Jones still looks to be the better running back here, so not too worried at this point. It's just nice to know that Christian Michael actually can play, so if Matt Jones does get hurt, I think Christian Michael would be a really good handcuff to hold right now. No one else there on the ground really to mention. We also have looking at the receiving category, DeMarne Pearson-Nell, 3 catches, 3 targets for 25 yards. Pretty disappointing day. Had a nice little trick play to get a conversion, but overall you were expecting a lot more. But because Jordan Taylor only threw the ball 18 times, you're not going to get too many points from your receivers either. Alonzo Russell, 3 for 36. Brandon Riley, 2 for 25. Nothing for Keith Mumphrey. Damian Washington, only 1 catch for 0 yards. Tight end Marcus Lucas, only 2 for 12. There was not nearly the passing volume that you want. I think this is a very good buy low opportunity for pretty much name any wide receiver or even Jordan Taylor himself in St. Louis after this week, because they don't get to play the New York Guardians at home every single week. And that pretty much wraps it up for this, guys. Really like St. Louis going forward, and it's going to be very exciting to see how this team continues to perform. And it's also going to be very interesting to see how New York can try to rebound and pick up before this season becomes lost for them. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out my website, fantasyaddictionnetwork.com. We're posting a ton of stuff there this week, getting you guys ready for week 4, giving you some more insights into how we can break these games down from a statistical analysis. So hopefully you guys can check that out. And then if you're looking for XFL content posted daily, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anyway, we will see you in the next video.